modeling, letting them make sense. We did this a few times as I was learning more about sense making, but letting them draw or letting them write for sense making. Okay, so they've read this article or we've looked at data, and then however they wanted to present it. In the past, I had a expectation on how I wanted them to write or how I wanted them to draw. And then with this, when I understood the concept of sense making, it's what makes sense to them. And so allowing them the time and the opportunity to draw or write in a way that made sense to them, and then me just looking at it as, oh, let me understand what they know, instead of me coming with a preconceived idea of this is what I expect, and if they don't say it or draw it the way I expect, it's wrong. That was what I did traditionally. But with the new training from OpenSciEd, it's however they want to express it. Then I look for the level of understanding instead of looking for my expected way of them doing it.
It is built in that the modeling evens the playing field. I'm going to say that the being able to represent their information in different modalities, it equals it all out for everybody. Instead, and I say this and I'm kind of like I'm tearing up, but it really helps those students that are really having difficulty. I think of this young lady, and she's like, I've struggled every single year in science and I just don't get it. And she said, this year I'm successful. I'm making A's. I'm able to understand that I can represent my information in multiple ways. And whenever we're looking at those pieces of evidence in our mastery, I'm like, I want you to focus on this one because this one has this modality versus this type of representation versus this representation. And so I look at the different types of representation that they can show for meeting that goal and the understanding of that standard. And then I gear it towards what are the students' needs individually. And OpenSciEd does that beautifully. It really does think about the different types of learners that we have in our classroom.